Hey guys, what is up? My name is Kaylee. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am coming at you with half of my January 2019 wrap up. So what I've decided to do is, because my wrap-ups tend to be between 12 and 18 books, because I read a lot of graphic novels and manga, that I would break up my wrap-ups. So I'll have one video for all my graphic novels and manga, and one video for all my novels and other, because one, I don't want to edit like a 30 to 50 minute video. And two, that way, if you're only interested in one type of book versus the other, then you have the ability to just watch one and not have to skip around. I think it'll be easier for me. I hope it'll be easier for you. Let me know down below if you like that idea. It'll give me a little opportunity to talk more about the books if I so choose and not have it be an epically long video. So without further ado, this is my graphic novel wrap-up. In January, I read 6 graphic novels, 1 3-star and 5 4-stars. It was a pretty decent month, though nothing blew me away. Let's get started. Number 1 coming in at 3 stars, because as you know, I start from the lowest and head on up. Girl Town by Carolyn Nowak. The cover's enticing. I thought, you know, there's a plus-size woman on the cover. It's called Girl Town. What can go wrong? And I can tell you that a decent amount went wrong. These are, I believe, 5 unrelated little stories. I suppose in a town called Girl Town. They are all about women, and I think it was a missed opportunity where it could have been a graphic novel that empowered women, that lifted women up, that talked about all different shapes and sizes and sexualities and things they get into. The first story starts out with girl-on-girl bullying. And the bullying also has to do with a crush. One girl has a crush on another, so she's mean to her, and then that woman is mean back, and they're neighbors. And the bullying is about her weight, and she does it publicly in front of a whole party. And I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Then it goes on to tell very random stories. So I gave it a 3-star because there's diversity, race, size, as I said, sexuality. There's even a girl with a robot boyfriend. All cool. But the stories all missed the mark for me. They were either really, really weird. I almost entirely skipped one that was supposed to be podcasty. I skimmed it because I wasn't interested. The longest one is about the robot boyfriend, and mostly her roommate makes fun of her for it through the whole thing when she's happy. Like, what? There's one that's just about 2 girls eating food that makes them do weird things, and the whole time, the one girl is so self-conscious in a not redeeming way. The last story took a stab at being ambiguous and fell flat. I don't know. You don't have to read it. Coming in at a 3.5, 4-star is One Dirty Tree by Noah Van Sciver. This probably got a higher rating because it reminded me very much of a good friend of mine from college, and funnily enough, when I messaged him about it, he is a fan, and so it fit perfectly, and it's probably why I enjoyed it so much. But Noah Van Sciver is a graphic novelist, a cartoonist, and this is his autobiography, basically. It's about his upbringing, where he lived. This is his family. He had a lot of kids. He was a Mormon family, a very poor Mormon family, who basically didn't think that he would ever make it in his choice because his dad suffered from bipolar and he was abusive. And when you have 6 other siblings, you kind of get lost in the shuffle. I was a little misled because when I looked it up, it says Noah Van Sciver is haunted by the house that he grew up in, and I thought that it would be a little spooky, but it wasn't really. It was just a slice of life. It was a little depressing because you're seeing both him current day with the girlfriend that doesn't treat him well and uses him for both his money and just the idea, I guess, of having someone and not being alone, and then the reminiscing of his childhood, which wasn't great either. But I really like the art, and I love slice of life most of the time. So, I mean, it was pretty good. Not my best. Good standalone. I love graphic novels for reading slumps or in between novels to kind of take a breather, and this worked perfectly for that. Coming in at 4 stars is Open Earth by Sarah Mirk. This was a nicely done little sci-fi-esque, contemporary-esque graphic novel about a woman who, you're mainly following a woman who has grown up on a spaceship called California. The cool thing about it is that it's a society that isn't like us. So they're not monogamous. They sleep with everybody and anybody. All the friends all mess around with each other. There's no racism. There's no question of attractiveness. Everybody just kind of is what it is because there's no societal standards. There's no pressure to look like or be or act like anybody. Her parents are in a monogamous long-term relationship, and the dichotomy there is kind of like they don't get it, but she's like, how could you live the way that you did back in the States or in Earth and whatnot. My only qualm with it is that there wasn't really a point to it. It was literally just a lot of smut and the argument of like what it was versus what it is now. So I like the representation. I think it's a very cool like polyamorous unit. It was the art style is really great. I don't want to like, here, there's the open page. Bright, just right up my alley in that. But it wasn't a 5-star because it was kind of shallow. There was nothing really that happened outside of sleeping with other people and maybe one tiny little plot device that gets resolved by the end. So if there's more, I'll read them, but there's not really a drive to do so. This could just stand alone and be fine. My next 4-star read is a manga that I've been looking to read for years because I've seen the anime. My husband's a big fan, and I wanted to see if the manga lived up to it, and I will carry on the series. I did enjoy it, with the stipulation of knowing that sometimes manga has very sexist ways of progressing or of depicting women and how men treat women, and that is very prevalent in here. So if you don't like women being talked down to or made to be stupid or treated as though they are, even if they're not, this will not be the manga for you. But that is Akira by Katsuhiro Otomo. I love the anime. Love is a strong word. I really enjoyed the anime. So I am going to carry on with the series. A lot happens in this while also not even getting close to the meat of the film. So I'm interested to see the very specifics of how this plot works. But essentially, you've got two friends that are in a bike gang, Tetsuo and Kaneda, and one of them gets in a motorcycle accident really early on, and that's Tetsuo, and he kind of disappears. Now Kaneda is like, where the fuck did my friend go? And it turns out he's kind of like been experimented on unintentionally. I don't even know if it's unintentional at this point. Akira is like this big overarching thing, you don't really know what, but it's like big. Tetsuo becomes the leader of a different gang, and he's got powers. He can make people's head explode, and Kaneda finds himself unintentionally being part of the like resistance that's trying to help people like him. It's very intricate. I'm not doing a good job of explaining it. I mean, the back basically says what I said. Akira is this like monstrous power that everybody's afraid of, but no one really knows what it is. Paranormal things happen to these specific beings. Tetsuo becomes one of them. They're like, is he Akira? That's how that begins. I'll carry on. It was solid 4 stars. For the reasons I said earlier, I can't in good conscience give it a full 5-star. Also, it kind of lagged at parts, but that's because I know the movie, which is like condensed. So it's good and I enjoy it, but it's not a full 5-star. Also, my very last read of January was one that I just randomly picked up because it was on Amazon Prime Reading. It's very rare I get to read graphic novels on my phone because Overdrive doesn't tend to get the license for them, so it was nice to see one on Amazon, and that is iZombie Volume 1, Dead to the World by Chris Robertson. I've heard a lot about iZombie. Obviously it became a TV show, so when I saw it I was like, let's see if the hype is good. The hype is good. I enjoyed it. The art style is cool. It has like a 50s vibe. I think I'm just thinking of one character that theoretically is probably from that time frame. In any case, it's about a living zombie. That's kind of an oxymoron, but you know what I mean. And she is a grave digger. She has to eat brains once a month in order to not become and look like what we know as a zombie. Her best friends are a ghost that lives in the cemetery she works at, but also can come around with her, and a were-terrier. And when she eats brains, she gets the memories of the person whose brains she's eaten. And this volume, she eats brains and realizes the man was murdered and she's going to avenge him. And that's when she goes to avenge him, that's when like things start happening for her. So I'm going to continue the series. I'm going to see if my library has it. Obviously I can't get it on my ebook and my library doesn't have it ebook wise, so I'm going to see. I actually think I requested it already to have it come in. I liked it enough to continue. It wasn't amazing. It was a little cheeky and cliche at points, but it's a nice new graphic novel series and I can't wait to see where it goes. And my last graphic novel of the month that I enjoyed very much is Spaceboy Volume 2 by Stephen McCraney. I am loving the series so far. The next one comes out in March, so about a month and a week away from now I will have the third one in my hands, and I can't wait to see where it goes. I really hope we get more from the perspective of Oliver. This is the, we don't really know about Oliver. He's kind of an experiment, I believe, is where they're headed. We mostly know more about the girl in the graphic novel who's the one that grew up on the spaceship and has come and has to acclimate to Earth. And for the first time in Oliver's life, someone is getting through to him. He's kind of spacey. Space boy. I don't want to talk much about the second novel Happenings because it is the second volume in a series, yada yada. But the art is great. The whole storyline is very cute. It reads kind of upper middle grade-y, so it is young, and so you're not getting like any of the violence or whatnot in most of the graphic novels I end up reading. It's just a space/earth childhood coming of age type thing, and I am really loving it. I'm pretty sure you can find it for free online, but I like it enough to own the physical copies. Also, when you put them together, the covers will make a picture, which obviously is the incentive to own books. In any case, that is it for me. That is the graphic novel. Stay tuned for my novel wrap-up in which I read 10 things. So it will be a nice lengthy one for anybody who is interested in the novels. That should be coming soon. Thank you for being here. Like if you've liked this video, subscribe if you're new here and want to see more content from me. All of my social media will be linked down below in the comments. My Instagram, my Twitter, and my Goodreads. I hope we become friends on other platforms. If you've read any of these graphic novels, or there are any that you want me to read that you love, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!